Alright guys, so welcome to today's video. In today's video, I would like to continue with the Buddha mini-series. So what I would like to do in today's video is that I would like to script a Buddha combat, and that's actually pretty easy to do. So let's begin with it. So my idea was that once you click on your mouse button while having this tool equipped, that you play an animation and that, just overall the combat is playing. So script parent, so we have to refer to the tool, and then we have to refer to this activated event connect function. There we go. So this activated event, it recognizes when you have performed a left mouse button click while having this tool equipped. And when this happens, then we want to fire serverless remote event with attack. Okay, that's actually it for the local script, so there's nothing more to do inside of here. So let's move on with the server script. So else if what is attack, then we want to do all of the stuff. So we want to create a table right here, animation table. So this one is going to hold several animation IDs, which we will randomly play. Next thing which we want to do is that we want to create an animation inside of our Buddha. So come on, instance.new animation. So we are creating a new instance, which is an animation. We have to put this one inside of, C. Yeah, C is our character. C Buddha. Now, and call this animation attack if you want to. Set the animation ID to, ROBLOX set ID. And now that's the interesting part. So as I've told you, this animation table right here is going to hold several animation IDs, which we will just randomly pick out, So we have to implement it inside of here. So how does this work? We have to refer to this table, then we have to index something inside of here. Since there is no animation ID inside of here yet, this might be a little difficult to understand or to visualize, but you have to think that we have several animation IDs right here, okay? Wait, I've messed up. Yeah, so something like that, okay? So let's pretend that this or these two are our animation IDs. So what we have to do is that we have to randomly choose an index. So we have to index it. So indexing means 1 or 2 or 3. Well, 3 does not work in this case because we only have 2 entries. But what indexing does is that you basically just refer to an entry. So you have 1 inside of here, so you're referring to the first entry, which is this one. So when you put 2, you refer to the second one. That's basically what indexing is. And we now have to index to a random one right here. We have to, so to do that, we have to use math_random, which creates a random number in between 1 and the total amount of entries inside of this table. So animation table. So hashtag animation table. This basically returns the total amount of entries inside of here, which is currently 2. So this one equals 2. So it picks out a random number in between 1 and 2. So the entry is either 1 or 2. That's basically how this randomization is that the correct term for it? So how that works. Okay, now. So this one actually is quite interesting because if you remember the animation system of our Buddha, so it basically just replicates our character's animation. So I have thought about making this animation play for our player instead of for the Buddha, because if we play it for the player, then it is also being played for the Buddha because the Buddha replicates the animations of the player. So let's actually do that. So C humanoid animator load animation anim. There we go. So I hope that this is not confusing or anything, because we have now created the animation, which is inside of the Buddha, but this animation is played for our character and not for our Buddha. But our Buddha still plays it because we are replicating every animation right here. So C humanoid, so we have to refer to the humanoid of our character and then to this animator instance. And we have to load the animation. So we have to apply this load animation function, and this one requires the animation inside of those brackets. So the animation which you want to load, and you want to play this animation track which has been loaded. That's basically how this works. So that's the first part. So the first part of playing the animation. The second part now is about to create the effects. So what we can do is that we can play a random amount of loops right here. So from 1 to Let's say 2 to 4. 2. Let's add a weight inside of here. And we are now going to create some kind of shockwave effect. So local x instance.new part. So we are creating a part inside of our workspace. Let's call this one shockwave. And then those two dots I. So those two dots and I. So those two dots connect this string with this number. But let's change it to a string. So toString converts this number into a string. Means the text. So we connect this text with this text. And this text right here just displays the amount of loops we have now done. So I1 is basically the first loop, I2 is the second loop, I3 is the third, and I4 is the fourth loop. And this tells us which shockwave this is. So shockwave 1, shockwave 2, shockwave 3, whatsoever. Okay. So let's give out a size. Let's give a C frame. Make sure that it is anchored. So I'm going to explain the C-frame later on. I just want to see if this works, because if it does not work, then there is no point in explaining it now. Random. Yeah, oh my god. So yeah, of course, well, we cannot test this out because we still need to add those animation IDs inside of here. Well, yeah, let's actually do that, because creating those animations, actually no problem. Actually, I really think about just taking animation IDs from my old combat videos, so I can just save some time and, so that I do not have to create those animations, because it is pretty obvious what you have to do. So you basically just need to put your combat animation IDs inside of here, and I'm sure that you're not going to use my animation IDs because you cannot, and secondly, you wouldn't want to, because my animations are shit, to be honest. So let me just quickly get my animation IDs, so my combat animation IDs, and then we'll move on, guys. Alright, so I'm back. So I've just added some animation IDs inside of here. So let's test this out. There we go. Wait, only those two are played. Come on, yeah, there we go. So those are our 3 animations. And let's change this to -10, because those parts, you might have seen it, they spawn behind our Buddha. Or they used to, now they don't, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. So they do not now. Now, let's change this to -10. Because this C-frame right here, it has to make the parts touch the ground right here. So there we go. So what we have to do now is that we have to change the shape first of all. So X shape ball, X brick color. Wait. The brick color is a whole different topic. So let's add a variable right here. And this variable determines whether the color is going to be yellow or white. So we are creating a new variable which creates a new random number in between 1 and 2. So if the number is 1, then we want the brick color, so the color, to be yellow. So yellow, and else stands for all of the opposite cases. So if it is not 1, then brick color is going to be institutional white. Also, let's set the material to neon. And there we go. Now let's add a tween. So game get service, tween service, create. So I'm not gonna explain the tween service because I've done that way too much times, many times already. So I'm going to do that again. So go ahead and watch my whole channel, find the spots in which I'm talking about the tween service. There we go. So make sure that cast shadow is set to false. Let's increase the size a little. All right, there we go. So what we also could add is that we lower the walk speed each time we perform this attack. So set it to 8 right here. And yeah, so the next thing we want to work on has to do with the damage. So let me place this down here. Let me add a weight. Let's reword the speed. Let's add this damage dealing part I was talking about. So let's loop through the workspace. So get descendants, do. Now we are basically looping through the workspace and we have to find character models, especially those character models which are nearby. So first of all, let's do this step by step. So let's first of all find some character models. So what are the characteristics of a character model? As you can see, we have one here. So the character model itself is a model. So the class name is a model. And it has a humanoid inside of it. And that's basically it. So those are the two requirements we are going to look for. So if V is a model and V find first child humanoid and V name is not the player's name. So that's also very important. And wait, and V is not equal C Buddha. So those are 4 requirements now, but only 2 really define the character model. The last 2, they are there to make certain things not happen. So those are the 2 requirements I just talked about, and this prevents the script right here to target us as an enemy or the Buddha. Now, the next thing has to do with the distance. So we want to see which enemy is nearby to deal the damage to. So if the humanoid root part position minus C humanoid root part position dot magnitude is not greater than, let's say, 20, then we want to deal damage to that character model. So the humanoid take damage. Let's do random amount. There we go. So let's do this. Buddha is not a... Okay, so there's a typo. Okay, so nothing's happening. Or is not being displayed, but there's actually nothing happening right there. So why is that? Why is that, guys? And nothing's happening. Yeah, the problem is that so instead of making sure that the character model has the character model equals our Buddha model, we have to make sure that it does not equal. So that was the issue. So instead of adding two of those characters, we had to change it. So there we go. So I'm able to spam it, as you can see. But yeah, so that's actually it for the video. Let me get rid of those prints. And, well, yeah. So if you want to add a cooldown, you could add a variable right here. So E equals false. And every time when you click, you want to make sure that E is false. So if E false, then. And once you have clicked while E was false, we want to turn E to true. And we want to set E back to false after a certain amount of time, which is going to be your cooldown time. So that's it. That's how you add a cooldown. So I'm gonna try to spam. So listen to my mouse if you're able to hear it. So 0.5 seconds. So this could be considered as spamming, but this has to do with our cooldown time, because cooldown time is not really good at that point. So you can increase it to 1 if you want to. I'm gonna keep it at 0.5 because this one is the combat, you know. But that's it, guys. So thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, share this video to all of your friends. Leave me feedback in the comment section, guys. Take care and see you in the next video.